What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to FBA Capital. And this camera is a little bit fucking, you see me, but welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys another weekly market breakdown along with the daily range case study from Friday's range. So let's get into this video. It might be a little bit longer than usual, but nonetheless, if you stay to the end, you're going to get the information you are looking for. So first things first, we're going to start off by doing the daily range. First things first, if you guys took my advice on buying Ethereum, if you're in my Telegram, I got in at 900. You should be up about 25% right now. Same with Bitcoin. As you can see, from 18,000, you saw it as rejection. This is not part of the video, but I thought I'd let you know. So let's get right on into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark up the previous day's highs and lows from Thursday, because mind you, we're doing the daily range of Friday. So we're going to get the previous day's high, previous day's low. As you can see, neither of them were ran through, meaning it was an overall inside day, and by inside day, it didn't reach the liquidity below and above previous day's highs and lows. So that just tells you that there wasn't much movement. So we have the 12 a.m. open right here. So even though there wasn't a lot of movement, there's still going to be things in price that you could have taken advantage of. For example, this low, this high, and yeah, those are going to be the two main important parts in my opinion. But I'm going to get into why they're important. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to use this high all the way over here. Now usually I do like to use the previous day's high as one of the areas I like to anchor my fib from, but in this case the previous day's high is just inside of this trending move. So we're going to use this high, which is also the previous day's high from the day before. So it's going to be a very similar thing. We're going to pull our fib from that high to this low. We're going to get the 38.20% level. Boom. What's the first thing you realize? More than likely, you're going to realize that right here, we did reject this 38.20%. At what time? 1 p.m. After doing what? If we go to a lower time frame and look to the left over here, so if you look to the left of this area, what do we see? The last two up candles before this down move. And what would that be classified as? That would be our 10-minute order block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that order block and move it over and see how price reacted. Ooh, and what do you see? A rejection. And also, where are we at price wise? 11,350 mid figure. So now you can see there's a few things that added up in this area of price for why it was going to move the way it did. So let's annotate those. So at what time? 1 p.m. 1 p.m. we had the fib short 38.20% rejection, along with the 10-minute order block rejection, along with along with 11,350 mid fig rejection. And what else do we have? And this was also the high of the day. So high of the day at 1 p.m. after trading into the fib short at 38.20%, along with the 10-minute order block at 11,350 mid figure level. And from there, what happened? Price slowly had this move to the downside. But that's not the most important part, because this is just a small move. This is a small move. How would you have capitalized on this move right here? Why? Because this is a move that happened earlier in the morning. And how would you have capitalized on it? So first things first, we're going to notice, what did price do? It ran the liquidity below the Asian session low. So it ran the low. After we cleared those lows, what did price do? After we cleared those lows, what did price do? It tapped into what? If you look to the left, we have this last down candle right below this Asian session low. What did price do? Tapped right into it. And also, where are we at price wise? 11,100 big figure level. So now you can see, I'm trying to get it right on it, right there. So we have 11,100 rejection at what time? 10:30, 10:45. And then at 11 is when price pushed. So let's have that annotation. And also, before that, another confirmation you want. From this low, which is the previous day's low, and the lowest point inside of this range before price retrace, we're going to go to the highest point, which is right here. We wouldn't draw the fib to this point because price went from this low to this high, then retraced before going to this high. So we're going to pull a fib from this low to this high. We're going to get the normal fib. Hold on, I did that wrong. Get rid of that. Click on this. We're gonna get the normal fib settings. What do we see? We got the fib long along with the Asian range low getting ran through at 11 p.m. Not 11 p.m. a.m. Why is it not doing the X? And also we tapped into 11-100 big freak level. So if you were just in the chart at this time, this would have been a great trade opportunity. So what happened? 11 a.m. push plus fib long plus 15-minute order block along with 11-100 big figure level rejection. Just like that. Almost forgot to add the last part, which is Asian range low cleared. And I'm gonna say Asian range low false break. Why is it a false break? Because after price ran below this low, it grabbed the liquidity, created this low, tapped into 11-100 before running and creating this high of the day that we have up here. And also, what happened? This was all below the 12 a.m. open, giving us a discounted price to buy at. Same thing up here. If you would have been shorting anywhere above this open, you would have been at a premium price to sell at the highest price possible. So that is then what happened. There's not really much that happened for the most part today. Just after price ran below these London lows and then ran below the Asian session lows during early New York session, price then started to try to go higher, starts to consolidate. And if you go to the lower time frame, you can see price was consolidating after clearing the lows. It struggled to go any lower than 11-100 and did not close below it. Even if you go to the 1 minute, I can guarantee you that it didn't close below that level. We did not close. Look, we got close, but look at every time price came into this area, it was not trying to close in a solid candle, meaning the majority of the volume was trying to stay above. So if I do this, because you guys know the majority of the volume is within the candles. So if I take rid of the wicks, look at how price reacts to certain levels. It doesn't like to go below them. But if you look at the wicks tend to go pretty significantly far down. Just keep that in mind. That's a little tip for you guys. The majority of the volume is going to be within the candles. So pay attention to where candles close. A lot of times wicks will wick through an area, but look just like here. It closed right at 350. Closed at 350, but there was wicks at certain levels, but if they don't close under them, more than likely it's going to try to have a reaction, which means it can either go very high or very low, or a little bit high or a little bit low. It just means it's going to have a reaction. It doesn't mean it's going to be a major move, but it will have a reaction. So now let's get the schematic of what happened today. Well, Friday we had the Asian session range, boom, boom, boom. Then we had a push during London. New York session made a high before running down, creating the low of the day, before running up higher and creating the high of the day. So we ran both sides of the market. We ran the Asian session highs and the Asian session lows before eventually just continuing to just clear the liquidity. So we just created a lot of liquidity to then grab it right here, all the liquidity up here to get grabbed right here. And you can see we just engineered a lot of liquidity on Friday for the most part. But in my opinion, I do think we are going to try to make a push for these highs and try to get in this uptrend based off the fact that what I see with Ethereum and Bitcoin and how everything is starting to have these reactions. I do think this week is more than likely going to be bullish. If it's not, well, then it is what it is. We take it one day at a time. But with that being said, this is going to be the daily range case study from Friday. Not sure the exact date, but yeah. So now that we have the daily range from Friday, I'm going to go over my higher time frame analysis on what I think is going to be happening with NAS100 this week. So let's go to my other pair, my higher time frame. We're going to start off on the monthly. First things first, we are within this monthly order block. That is something that I am keeping my eye out for. Why? Because like I said with all these other pairs, we're inside of an area right now on majority of indexes, on majority of cryptos, that is showing that if we don't have a reaction here, we're going to fall significantly far. Because based off of where we are, look, we have this area in here that has had a reaction and now we're coming lower. So if we don't hold and we come lower, more than likely price is going to come down to around 9,000 in my opinion on NAS100, which is very possible. So now that we're in this order block, what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to pull a fib from the very low of that to the very high, and you can see that we aren't holding that fib no more. So that is something I will be keeping my eye out for. Now I'm going to come down to the weekly, and as you can see, we do have this gap in here, which in my opinion, I do want to see price try to fill this gap in before it goes lower, if it does come lower. I had to sneeze. I was not about to kill y'all ears. But we'll see. More than likely, I don't want to see price come below this low down here. I want to see price stay above, and this is the low of the order block. And it doesn't look like it on this time frame, but if you go to the monthly, that is the very low wick of the order block. So I don't want to see price come below, what is this, 10,700 more than likely. But ideally, I do want to see price come back to all-time highs, and I will be watching these weekly lows, which are right here, and I will be watching the weekly high. More than likely, I want to see the weekly high targeted, but based off the fact that we do have a rejection, probability wise is more than likely to run the low. So if it runs the low, I will be looking for potential false break scenario that low to then anticipate a price going higher. But just keep in mind, don't try to counter trend trade, follow the trend as best as possible. As you can see, the previous day's candle was bullish, so there is a higher chance that the next candle is going to be bullish, but keep in mind the overall market structure, everything is just bearish, as simply as I could put it. But we have this gap here that I do want to see get filled at some point right in here, and as you can see, that's at the weekly high. So something that could even potentially happen for this is price can run up, fill in that fair value gap, clear the previous week's high before coming even lower, and that's very something that could happen. It's very potential and it's very possible. But like I said, this is just what I'm looking at on the weekly time frame. I'm not going to be taking this any crazy analysis. This is just basically what I'm looking at, and I just want to see what happens throughout the week. Daily is bullish, so we'll see what we can happen tomorrow. But yeah, if we now come back over here, we're going to do our little analysis for the intraday basis. So we're going to mark up Friday's previous day's highs and previous day's lows. So we got the previous day's high, previous day's low from Friday, not Thursday no more, from Friday. We don't have the 12 AM open, but we do have the previous Thursday's Asian session range. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be drawing a fib from this previous day's low, the body. I don't use wicks, only if I have to, but I use the body when I have a good range. Just like this. First thing I notice is we do have these lows right here. And what do I see below these lows? I have my fib long. So what's the first thing I realize? Under this liquidity area, there's this fib long at a big figure level that I like to trade off of, which is 11,200. So something I will be looking for price to do. Didn't mean to do that here. Change the color. Something I will be looking for price to do is to potentially drop, clear these lows, tap into 11,200 before eventually pushing for that previous day's high, and then also running for this high over here, because I do think this is an area that is more than likely going to get ran through if we are bullish. So that is something I will be watching out for right up here. Boom. We'll be watching for those highs. But yeah, that's really it. I'm just keeping it simple. And if you also look to the left at that Asian session range, it also is in confluence with here. So we have a lot of orders being built around this 11,200 area. So I do think if we have a retracement, that there is a high probability that price will have a reaction here to try to push higher and continue this upwards trend. Because keep in mind, we have many fair value gaps to the left. If you look to the left, right above this high, we have a fair value gap right here that needs to be filled in. Boom. We also have one right above here. We also have one all the way up here. There's a few of them. But like I said, we need to have a break of structure first. We haven't got a break of structure yet. We've had lower time frame break of structure, but until we break this high, there is still a high chance that price is more than likely going to continue to the downside. Because like I said earlier, if you pull a fib from this high all the way up here to this low, that previous high to that low, and then get the 38.20% rejection area, we did react to it. But like I said in a lot of videos before, every time we have a reaction at this 38.20% level, a lot of the time it tends to be a short-term move. So if this is a short-term move, I will expect price to maybe come a little bit lower before eventually pushing to then make its way into what? The higher fib levels, which are where? All the way up here within all these fair value gaps. And look where we are price-wise. We have 11,500 right up there. So it's high confluence in my opinion. So that's something I will be looking out for this week. Going to screenshot this also to send it into Telegram. That's really it I have for you guys. For the most part, I am bullish just based off the fact higher time frames. I am kind of counter trend trading just based off the fact that everything is bearish. But like I said, no risk, no reward. If you lose some, you win some. But if you don't take the opportunity, you're going to miss the chance. So simple as that. Like I said, that's really all I have for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this daily range case study along with a little bit of a weekly market review. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of thoughts on what I'm personally thinking is going to happen this week. But yeah, that's really it. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you join the Telegram. The link is going to be in the description, and all the screenshots and videos that I am posting get sent there first. And I'm also sending all of my links to my live trades and all of my live streams there. So make sure you're there to get everything first and be the first to know all of this. And also, here, I'll show you guys real quick. If you guys have been paying attention just to anything that I've been doing in the Telegram, here, I'll show you guys the Telegram. If you look from yesterday, I told everyone that I did buy 4.1 Ethereum right here. As you can see at 409, I bought 4.9. I said not investment advice, but I just bought 4.1 Ethereum at $900 each. And as you can see, it's only been 24 hours and I'm already up 5% on the investment with a $3,800 investment, and I'm already up 5,000. But here, let me show you right there. But that's really it. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. See you all soon. Stay productive, and I'll see you all. Let's have a good week.